I made it to PT school. Now what? The grind officially started. So my schooling started that May of whatever year I started PT school. And it was the most intense summer that I'd ever had. I had taken anatomy and physiology. You have to take that, that's a prereq. But we were not just taking anatomy and physiology, we were doing dissections on cadavers. And not only were we dissecting the muscles, we were dissecting nerves and arteries and trying to identify joints and ligaments and tendons. It was a lot. That was just the beginning. And for basically 33 months, that's how long my school was, it was a continuous grind, a grind of tests, of studying, of practicals, of hands-on experiences. It was a lot, but it was the most rewarding experience once I finished it. Now, when you're in school, the thing I learned the most is that we were all in it together. And what I appreciated about my program at UT Southwestern was that the teachers, our professors, they wanted us to succeed. This was not high school. This was not undergrad. You are not just in it for yourself, but they understood that this was going to be an undertaking that took more out of you than we probably ever thought we could give. And that entailed being open to receive help, seeking help, and being in camaraderie with other students. To try to make it by yourself was almost like a suicide mission. I mean, there was just so much information, there was so much to learn, so much to ingest, so much to practice. And if you didn't have kind of a group to help you, it was going to be difficult. And I was very fortunate because I was the only African American that finished my class. I started with one other gentleman that was in my class, but there were very few. And so I love everybody. I've grown up with all nationalities, people from different backgrounds. I have no issue with that. It is different to have a group of people that are similar to you, that have similar backgrounds, things that you've learned together. But sometimes that's not always the case. And so I'm not gonna lie, I felt kind of not defeated, not scared, but just kind of out of place. And I felt like I always had to prove that I was worthy to be there. And I met a wonderful group of ladies. Actually, my whole class was excellent. But there was a group of ladies that were a little bit more outgoing than me that were so kind to reach out. We were able to bond, we worked together. The grind made us have to depend on each other and have to learn and work with each other. And I really appreciated that. And so not just in school, but they invited me to things outside of school. And I just got to know them, and they are wonderful ladies, and I'm very grateful for the experience. So for anyone looking to go into physical therapy or any kind of program that maybe you do not see a lot of people like you, the one thing I will say is, yes, acknowledge it, but also acknowledge that there is so much to learn from other people, and there really is strength in numbers. And so do not isolate yourself. Be open to learning, to even teaching, others about who you are, what you learned, your experiences, because we all needed to learn from each other. At some point, they're going to have patients that look like me. I'm going to have patients that look like them. There were some women in my class that were from other countries. I'm going to have patients that are from other countries. And so it just goes to show that, when you are in these situations, there you can always learn something from it. You can always glean information. You can always learn from other people that are different than you. And when you do that, when you're open, it makes you a better person in general. I feel like I'm a better clinician because I was put in that situation. I feel like they're better clinicians because they were able to spend so much time with someone like me. Um, we all need each other. And that was one of the biggest things I learned in PT school. And the final thing is, as someone who has made it now, it is so important to reach back and to encourage those who want to go in your field and to kind of be a champion. I feel like all of the professors at UT Southwestern were champions for us. Before we were called doctors of physical therapy, before we made it, before we passed all the tests, they challenged us for sure in what they had to share. But at the same time, they tried to instill confidence that yes, it's hard, but you can make it. And we've made it. And they would often share some of their experiences. So if you're in the process of trying to get into PT school, keep going. When you've gotten into PT school, find some friends and just get ready to stick it out, grind it out, because it's not going to be an easy road, but it's definitely well worth it.